It seems like every few days now, we're starting to get more and more stories from the big national media talking about the fact that Donald Trump has completely, at this point, lost his grip on reality. And that is something that, of course, I agree with 100%. But it all really started a couple weeks ago when Max Burns wrote an op-ed for The Hill where he pointed this out. And ever since then, all of these other media outlets have started picking up on this theme and, of course, running with it. And I'm not going to fault them for that. Max Burns is very smart. He's a great guy. He does a good job. But it took him writing that op-ed for The Hill for other outlets to really realize, like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's flesh it out. So the Washington Post, specifically reporter Ashley Parker, decided to also go down this road and take a bit of a, deeper dive with more information because a lot has happened since Max Burns wrote his piece. So Ashley Parker, writing for the Washington Post, said this in a recent column. In Donald Trump's imaginary world, Americans can't venture out to buy a loaf of bread without getting shot, mugged, or raped. Immigrants in a small Ohio town eat their neighbors' cats and dogs. World War III and economic collapse are just around the corner, and kids head off to school only to return at day's end having undergone gender reassignment surgery. The Republican nominee spreads false claims about post-birth abortion and warns that World War III is imminent unless he's reelected. And these are all true things. I mean, no, they're not things that happen, but these are all things that Donald Trump has literally said just in the last 2 weeks. Okay, it's not like you have to dig back deep into the well to pull these out. Well, he said 4 years ago. These are things this crazy man has said in the last 2 weeks. So I'm glad that the Washington Post, one of the biggest papers to ever exist in the United States, is picking this up and reporting on it. Because what we're witnessing right now is Donald Trump being completely untethered from reality. And Donald Trump is a liar, okay? We know this. We know that the Washington Post itself put out a fact check at the end of his presidency highlighting 25,000 different lies that he told while president of the United States. 25,000 that they could count. The man was telling an average of 6 lies per day. So he lies all the time, and he lies about stuff that doesn't even matter. Lying about crowd sizes at his inauguration. And then lying about things that, of course, lead to disastrous consequences, like his lies about the 2020 election. But all of it taken together shows that, yeah, this man's a liar. But what's happened recently, and the reason more and more outlets are, picking up on it, is that his lies are no longer even trying, right? He's not even trying to be based in some kind of reality that he can justify. He is flat out telling people things that every one of them, a MAGA cult member or not, should be able to tell that's not true, right? Like, you can't go to the store without getting shot, mugged, or raped. He said that. Now, if you've been to the grocery store anytime in the last month, you know that that didn't happen. Like, you made it home safely. You got your groceries and you went home. You were not shot, mugged, or raped. But he still tells us that that's what happens. We have yet to find a single parent who has sent their kid to school in the morning only to have them come back as a different gender. That's never happened. That's insane. These are the rantings of a lunatic that needs to be in a padded cell, not running for president at the top of the Republican ticket. But here we are, and there he is. Now, what's even funnier is that you have other people who disagree. Like, nah, Trump doesn't lie. Here's what a Trump supporter by the name of Marley Ernestberg said, according to Raw Story. I don't think he does stretch the truth. Trump is not a liar. Now, of course, everybody exaggerates. Trump's not perfect. And when I'm looking at a candidate, I'm not looking for perfection. I'm not going to marry the guy. I'm not looking for a spouse. I'm looking for someone who's going to bring this country to a safer, more secure place. He doesn't lie. He's not a liar. So his own supporters just blindly believe whatever he tells them. In fact, there was actually a recent poll reported on by the Washington Post, by the way, that showed that 82% of his supporters believe that the pets in Springfield are being eaten. 27% believe children are going to school one gender, coming home in the afternoon as a different one. They believe the lies. They don't believe that he lies. They believe these things he says are stone cold truth. And that's one of the reasons he does it. But the other reason that he's doing this is because he has nothing else. His world is crashing down around him. He has the threat of prison looming in his upcoming sentencing. He has the threat of losing the election, which means he can't pardon himself from the other trial he is facing, or trials, I should say. So all of those legal problems catching up to him, financial problems. He's still got to pay for that New York fraud trial. He's still got to pay E. Jean Carroll. Truth Social is in the toilet, and he's going to walk away with nothing from that. Everything in his life is crumbling down around him. And as it does, he gets more desperate. And when he gets more desperate, he gets crazier. And when he gets crazier, he makes up more elaborate lies. That is what we are witnessing here. And honestly, that's the final kind of piece of that puzzle that some of these reporters out there are not putting together. He is becoming untethered from reality because as his life gets worse, his mental state also worsens. That's the connection we have to make. And it's also the truth. Things are bad for him right now, but trust me, they're going to get so much worse for him in the near future, which also means the lies and just random BS that he spews is also going to get so much worse, if you can believe it, before this election.
One of today's video sponsors is Miracle Made. Did you know that traditional bed sheets can actually harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat? It can lead to acne, allergies, stuffy noses, and it's just plain gross. Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning antibacterial bedding such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent up to 99.7% of bacteria growth and require up to 3 times less laundry. These sheets are infused with silver that prevent up to 99.7% of bacterial growth, leaving them to stay cleaner and fresh 3 times longer than other sheets. No more gross odors. Miracle Made uses silver-infused fabrics inspired by NASA, and their sheets are thermoregulating and designed to keep you at the perfect temperature all night long, so you get better sleep every night. Miracle Sheets are luxuriously comfortable without the high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than bed sheets used by some 5-star hotels. And it's designed for your skin. Stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores, causing breakouts and acne, and you can sleep clean with Miracle. Now, I've been using Miracle Made bed sheets for nearly 2 years now, and I absolutely love them. They help keep me cool throughout the night, which means I get better sleep because I'm not waking up all throughout the night from being too hot. So go to trymiracle.com/ROF to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo code ROF at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product that it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/ROF and use the code ROF to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/ROF to treat yourself.